What up, world? 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 This is main man. I am DJ Double Dose Man coming at you with another episode of Double Dose of Reality Sports, man. And you read the caption, Auburn got robbed. We gonna get straight into it. We ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. We gotta come in hot off the bat. Listen, if you watch that Auburn versus Oklahoma game, I don't know who or what the damn agenda was. But apparently the agenda was screw Auburn. Now, y'all know I am not an Auburn Tigers football fan. However, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. There was so many calls in this game that caused it to go left. You had initially the fumble that we all watched the tape. We all saw Buddy was on top of the other guy. Auburn gets the ball, runs it down the field, touchdown. But after they get together, what they come up with? Okay, cool. Later on in said game, you get the situation where Oklahoma fakes like they running somebody off the field, but it gets butt naked wide open. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Nothing said. And then later on, a blatant pass interference call gets ran into in midair. I mean, they even showed it in slow motion that he was ran into in air. No call. So you say those, man, you know, it's calls in every game. Every game is a call. Nah, man. Listen, we're gonna pull up this damn statement that the SEC said for everybody who's a Bama fan that watches us, everybody who's another fan in the SEC who watches us. You know, since you might say, well, being you just saying whatever you saying. Okay, cool. That's fine, no problem. You read that? The SEC has issued a statement on the many officiating miscues from the Auburn 24-17 loss yesterday. Now, we're not going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about the main one. The officiating crew did not properly interpret the action as a hideout tactic. If properly officiated, the second down play should have resulted in a team unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of 15 yards assessed from the previous spot. This action would have put the Sooners at 2nd and 37 from the 39-yard line. Y'all got to, you know what? I'm finna go on a bit of a rant, so give me like a minute. SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10, Pac 12, American, whatever you want to call it. This is bullshit. Listen, you come out after the game on something that directly impacted the game, that everyone saw, from the regular fan to the people in the booth. Everyone saw this. And for you to come out the next day or later on that night and say, bad, we messed up, that shouldn't have happened. That does what for who? It does absolutely nothing. Auburn can't go back and replay that down. you're not about to go back and take the points off the board. So you telling me that your officials messed up does absolutely nothing for me in a ball game that was literally and figuratively decided by a freaking touchdown. A touchdown. This game was decided by a touchdown. And you have the balls to come out and say, we messed up. That's our bad. How you going to make it right? You can't, because the game is over. Now, I don't know. We're going to stop sharing the screen at this point. I don't know what Auburn's path is, going forward. I don't know if Auburn's what happens from here. That part, I do not know. But what I do know is this was screwed up. And it was screwed up to the point where this may or may not cause Auburn to have a shot at playing for the. I know somebody might be like, man, you're being extreme. I'm not being extreme. Because Oklahoma's a ranked opponent. Auburn lost by a touchdown. And that play was literally a touchdown. We're not talking about, okay, well, this is a missed call. We don't know what could have happened. No, your mess up resulted in 7 points. Y'all got to fix this. That's my rant. I'm done with it. Nobody wants to hear your apologies a day later. Unless you are going to come with a solution to said, unless you're going to come with a solution to said apology, keep that shit. Keep that shit. Because you telling me that y'all messed up does me no good. It does the Auburn Tigers no good at all. And if you go, and what makes it more egregious is if you go and you watch the game and you look at, I think his name is Arbuckle, if I'm not mistaken, and you go and you look at Oklahoma's offensive coordinator, dude's a freaking jerk. He's grinning and licking his tongue out and smiling like, ah. Really, guy? You got over on officiating and that y'all didn't score that many touchdowns, Oklahoma. And one of his touchdowns was a BS play. It is what it is. My heart goes out to Auburn. At the end of the day, I know people watch this like, oh, hey, man, listen. My heart goes out to Auburn, man. That was, when it comes to football, I like to see the game played as close to the right way as we can. And that was a screw job, and Auburn got screwed. Now, hear ye. Florida, shout out to the Cover 3 podcast, Bud Elliott, Chip, Tom Fennell, and Danny Cannell. They do a instant reaction to each week. If you don't know, follow them. Great show. Follow. They do an instant reaction every week. And Bud brought up a valid point. If you are DJ Lagway at this point, how about you just reset and shut it down? Now, I'm going to elaborate more on it. He didn't go to this route. I'm going to go this route. Billy Napier is getting fired. DJ Lagway, we all know right now your stock is, if we were in the stock world, you would be a penny stock at this point. Nobody's spending any significant amount of money on DJ Lagway stock. Something's not right, whether it's you and your communication with the coaching staff, whether you're not healthy, because we all know that you didn't have a full spring or summer camp, to be honest. You've been banged up. So you don't have the type of rapport that you need to have with your wide receivers, X, Y, Z. If you are DJ Lagway, Billy's getting fired. This is over. Like, it's not a matter on if, it's a matter of when. You guys are sitting there at 1-3. And we all have, I'm not even going to bring it up because what's the point? We've all talked about the rest of your schedule. And it is a schedule that you will not survive. And Billy's fired. So if you are DJ Lagway, your stock is plummeting. Your coach is going to get fired. We all know. Nobody has to say it. Nobody has to be like, Ben, you don't know. We all know the kid is leaving. There's no way that DJ Lagway is going to start over with another coach at Florida. He's going to start over with another coach. It ain't going to be there. So if you are DJ Lagway, what other point do you have or are you trying to prove? Why not shut it down? Red shirt. See who actually still wants you at this stage. Because I'm sure at one point, a lot of people wanted you. Right now, I don't know. There's still going to be people that want you. But again, at one point, your stock was here. Now your stock is. So if you are DJ Lagway, do you shut it down? Do you shut it down? You realize the coach is about to get fired and you move on. That's the question I pose to everyone. Because at the end of the day, I highly, I don't know the percentage, but there's a great chance that DJ Lagway will not be the starting quarterback at the University of Florida next year. From the game aspect, Florida's defense at this moment, I don't know how long this is going to be the case, but at this moment, Florida's defense is still playing hard, and they're still playing well. I know some people are going to look at some people that didn't watch the game. They'll look at the final score, and they'll say, I beat them 26-7, whatever. Anybody that watched that game know that that game was literally 13-7 in the fourth quarter. I know Miami fans are, they're pumping their chest and they doing what they do. And that's cool. But from a non-fan perspective, I don't know how you come away from that game feeling great. If you're being real with yourself, you let Florida hang around in a game where even if it was raining, doesn't matter. It was raining, but it doesn't matter. You let Florida hang around in a game that you should have put away long before you did. And that was partly coaching. That was partly, I don't know. I think we've gotten enamored with Miami has an amazing offensive line. What last night showed was they have a great pass rush. Let me say it again. Miami has a great pass rush. Their run defense is not great. Now, I'm sure you can find the numbers and show the statistics, but looking at that game when it was athlete on athlete, Florida was able to run the ball on Miami. Florida's problem was Lagway isn't right, and he was missing throws. Florida's problem was not that they could not run the ball. And I know you might look at the box score and you might say, man, they ain't run for nothing. And you might be right from that lens. But if you actually watch the game itself, then you would know that within that game, Florida ran the ball. I mean, it's gonna say 80 yards, but you got to remember sacks account for that yardage, But ultimately, Florida was able to run the ball on Miami, and I know, and I get it. You're gonna look at it, you're gonna say, Ben, what are you talking about? If you actually watch the game, you will see Florida was able to run the ball when there were situations where they were able to run the ball. Now, Florida was down most of the game, so they didn't really attempt a whole lot of runs. But the one drive where they actually scored the touchdown on, like they only ran the ball 29 times. 8 of them was lag way with scrambles and everything else. But the one drive that they actually scored on, they ran the ball. And I know what you're saying. Miami has looked great. Beck didn't look great. Beck didn't look great last week when he threw them 2 picks. He threw another clean pick last night. He missed a lot of throws last night. Now, what's the one common thing that Miami has in common so far this season? Where have their games been so far this season? I'll tell you if you really want to know, but you should know the answer to this. Miami has not gone on the road at all this season. And if you think that they're about to go to Tallahassee with the way they played last night, with that game plan, we'll be having a different conversation when that game is over. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know how you're a Miami fan and you walk away from that and you are just like, man, you still feel great. Now you still are, I mean, look, a win is a win, and especially a win against your rival, it's a win. And bro, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I 100% get it, and I 100% understand. But the fact still remains, there's no way that you are comfortable with the way that game played itself out. Just saying. And before we get out of here, we told y'all Arch was eventually going to figure it out. I know it's Sam Houston. But y'all were just giving the boy hell for what he did prior to that. You were just giving him hell for what he did prior to that. So we can't give him hell for what he did prior to that, but not give him praise for what he does against the same similar said competition. All he did was go 18 for 21, 309 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So is Arch fixed? We posed the question last week. Don't know if he's fixed, but I do know that he's headed in the right direction. And right behind that, he has the University of Florida. So if ever there was a way to get your quote unquote feet wet, what better way than to do it against the Florida Gators? The way that this season is playing itself out to be. So, really wasn't much else. I mean, your favorite team is your favorite team. You watch what you watch. But I wanted to come on real quick and just talk about how Auburn got robbed. Next week, we will be live after. You got a big weekend next week. Next week is going to be major. Not only do you got Alabama. And well, first of all, kicking off Friday night, we got Florida State, who is in the same boat as Miami, going on the road, ACC, opening it up against Virginia on the road. You got Florida State against Virginia on Friday night. You also got TCU and Arizona State on Friday night. But next weekend, we got some bangers. Let me present this so we can look at it together real quick before we get out of here. So you have Gators Friday lineup. Saturday, you got LSU and Ole Miss, Auburn and Texas A&M, Alabama and Georgia, Oregon and that is screwed up that they are playing at the same time. How is that going to work? Oregon and Penn State, Alabama and Georgia. And you also got USC and Illinois. That matchup kind of lost a little bit of its luster because Illinois got the doors blown off of them. But prior to that, you did have, and you do have, So next Saturday night, we are definitely going live. And I just wanted to say, man, thank you for supporting the show. We got a lot of good things going on, man. We're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it rocking and rolling, man. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Live, laugh, and love, man. Find something to laugh at each and every day. Love on the people that love you and just continue to live this life, man. We out.